My name is John Suzuki. In June of 2019, I visited the town of Bruyères, France, which was liberated by the 442nd from the Germans during World War II. It led to the Battle of the Lost Battalion, which is rated as one of the top 10 most significant battles in the history of the United States. It bears to note that on the day that I shot this video, it was a bright, sunny 109-degree day. But in the days of October 1944, the weather was dark, cold, wet, dreary, with little visibility, and an enemy that was trying to destroy them. On this day, I was accompanied by Gerome, who is a longtime resident of the area and an expert on the Battle of the Lost Battalion.
This is the beginning of the battle of the 442 and 100 Battalion. 2nd Battalion fought in this place to secure the place. 100 Battalion stay here in Ansably area, and the 3rd Battalion stay in reserve in case they need it.
Okay. And this is where it all began for the 442,
Yes.
100.
100 Battalion had to take Hill A, then 2nd Battalion had to go inside Bruyères.
Okay.
By the way, we go.
Okay. This is a photograph of the town of Bruyères during World War II. Notice the building on the left with the jagged roofline. Today, that building still stands, but there are no tanks and the town is free. They named this road after the 442nd in honor of the men who liberated the town. You're looking at 555, Hill 555, and I have Hill A to my back. In order to get from where we were a little bit earlier to Hill A, they had to cross this meadow. And over there, to my left, is a farmhouse. And if you look over here, there's another farmhouse. And these two farmhouses were occupied by Germans, and they had machine guns in each one of those windows in every farmhouse. And of course, all this was littered with mines, and they had to work across this. The Americans and the Germans did not use artillery because their men were so close together that it required hand-to-hand combat with grenades and rifles and hand-to-hand, which was the reason why there were so many casualties here of the 100th Battalion. But they had to take this field in order to get past the point that I'm at right now to move up Hill A, which kind of looks like that, and going up that hill and taking over the hill. And you can see the terrain. The terrain is crazy between these hills, and they got to work their way up that. Pretty remarkable. Bifontaine was a small village that the 442nd also liberated on their way to the Battle of the Lost Battalion. City Hall. But if you look at this iron grating, you'll see a number of imperfections in it. Those are the remnants of German bullet holes or machine gun fire. So imagine that kind of power going through a human body. That's what the 442 faced. Road. This is where the heart of the Lost Battalion happened. And this is where everything started. So what happened was that the Lost Battalion that was moving forward and advancing came up this road. And as they were coming up this road, they decided to continue down this road. And instead of going farther up, right up where those logs are, they made a left-hand turn and decided to follow a trail that paralleled this road. In the meantime, there were Germans all around here, and they were watching and observing the battalion go by. So when it went by, the Germans then started chopping down trees. They started chopping down trees all around this place to block this road. They chopped down trees up there where they came from, where the battalion came from. They chopped down trees all the way around that bend. Everywhere here they chopped down trees so that nobody could rescue that group of men that just moved forward and was advancing. So basically what the Germans did next is that they planted landmines all over this area to prevent anybody from coming in and rescuing them. And this is what was the beginning of the Battle of the Lost Battalion. It all started right here. And all around here, we're still at the top of the ridge, all around here are foxholes. Whole lines of foxholes trying to repel the attack from our guys that were coming from down there. And I hope you can see, I hope you can get an idea from this video coverage how steep this terrain is. It's incredibly steep. You can see it right here. Maybe, perhaps this gives you a better idea of how steep this terrain is. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And this is exactly where our guys came up. And you can see foxhole after foxhole after foxhole after foxhole after foxhole. This is one of the views downhill from a German bunker, and you can tell it's a German bunker because it's so deep and dug in. The Americans didn't have time to build deep bunkers like this, but the Germans did, or not bunkers, but foxholes. And so this is where Germans were firing upon our guys, all of these foxholes here, because they knew and they were desperate that they had to repel the attacks, because if the Vosges mountains fell, the Allies had a clear shot to Germany. You can see the steepness, right, of what's happening around here. Imagine that you're down here looking up at the Germans firing down on you. And you just got to keep pushing up with all those Germans up there, with all those foxholes, firing machine guns at you and dropping hand grenades. And somehow our guys took it over. Pretty incredible. This is the area where it is believed that Barney Hajido started the final banzai charge the day before reaching the Lost Battalion. You can see how thick it is, and again, imagine dark, cold, wet, damp, and all of these German placements. All of these German placements. There's foxhole after foxhole, all the way up, all the way across. And the Germans are firing downwards, and they're throwing hand grenades downwards at our men. Somewhere around here is where Cash came up ahead. Somewhere down there, Barney Hajido and the guys waited. And when Cash came running back down the hill from somewhere around here, he was shot. And that's when Hajido told Cash that he needed to go back to the aid station. But this is where the last charge happened in the Battle of the Lost Battalion. And it's just absolutely incredible. All these many trees were blown up above their heads with tree bursts. And it's hard to see how steep the terrain is from this perspective, but it's pretty darn steep. And all of our guys had to work uphill. Many, many men died here. So once they broke this German line here, we are retracing their steps to the forest as they advanced. More fun. Imagine us going through this beautiful walk in the forest with other people trying to kill us with machine guns and hand grenades and all kinds of nasty things, including this little piece of shrapnel. Yeah. So trench foot was a real problem here, and this is where the guys, when they had to stay in their foxholes, you know, it was wet and some of the foxholes were filled with water, and trench foot's really nasty. You can lose your feet from it. The 442nd sustained many, many casualties, but they kept moving forward. And finally, on October 30th, they broke through. The final position of the lost battalion. Oh. This is where they were dug in, with Germans attacking. And they were trapped here. Couldn't get out. 442 rescued them. Hard to believe. But there were 211 men trapped up here, kind of spread around this area. And they had to survive until the 442 arrived. Imagine an enemy you cannot see, trying to see you so they can kill you. It's just so hard to imagine.